Quotes that inspire you by Christian people. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep, to gain that which he cannot lose. Jim Elliot. Every saved person this side of heaven owes the gospel to every lost person this side of hell. David Platt. If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. I would rather be what God chose to make me than the most glorious creature that I could think of, for to have been thought about, born in God's thought, and then made by God, is the dearest, grandest and most precious thing in all thinking. George MacDonald. Lukewarm people don't really want to be saved from their sin, they want only to be saved from the penalty of their sin. Francis Chan. I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. C.S. Lewis. Sometimes life is so hard you can only do the next thing. Whatever that is, just do the next thing. God will meet you there. Elizabeth Elliot. Remember this, had any other condition been better for you than the one in which you are, divine love would have put you there. Charles Spurgeon. Consider how precious a soul must be when both God and the devil are after it. Charles Spurgeon. You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you. St. Augustine. If you can trust God to save you for eternity, you can trust Him to lead you for a lifetime. David Platt. We should be so joyful from God's grace that others would respond by saying, I wish I had your God. Francis Chan. Because free will, though it makes evil possible, is also the only thing that makes possible any love or goodness or joy worth having. C.S. Lewis. Don't dig up in doubt what you planted in faith. Elizabeth Elliot. God cannot give us happiness and peace apart from Himself because it is not there. There is no such thing. C.S. Lewis. Leave it all in the hands that were wounded for you. Elizabeth Elliot. It is a safe thing to trust Him to fulfill the desires which He creates. Amy Carmichael. God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in Him. John Piper. You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. Amy Carmichael. 2 works of mercy set a man free: forgive and you will be forgiven, and give and you will receive. St. Augustine. On what basis can a righteous God justify the ungodly? It is entirely an all of grace. Alistair Begg. Ah! What a mercy it is that it is not your hold of Christ that saves you, but His hold of you. Charles Spurgeon. Abundance isn't God's provision for me to live in luxury. It's His provision for me to help others live. God entrusts me with His money not to build my kingdom on earth, but to build His kingdom in heaven. Randy Alcorn. While it looks like things are out of control, behind the scenes there is a God who hasn't surrendered His authority. A.W. Tozer. Anxiety does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows, but only empties today of its strength. Charles Spurgeon. A woman's heart should be so hidden in God that a man has to seek Him just to find her. Max Lucado. Our greatest fear should not be of failure but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. Francis Chan. The cross is proof of both the immense love of God and the profound wickedness of sin. John MacArthur. Don't shine so that others can see you. Shine so that through you, others can see Him. C.S. Lewis. The secret of joy is Christ in me. Not me in different circumstances. Elizabeth Elliot. Accept Him? Do we really think Jesus needs our acceptance? Don't we need Him? Jesus is no longer one to be accepted or invited in, but one who is infinitely worthy of our immediate and total surrender. David Platt. Till sin is bitter, Christ will not be sweet. Thomas Watson. A lot of people think that Christianity is you doing all the righteous things you hate and avoiding all the wicked things you love in order to go to heaven. No, that's a lost man with religion. A Christian is a person whose heart has been changed, they have new affections. Paul Washer. The way to conquer sin is not by working hard to change our deeds, but by trusting Jesus to change our desires. David Platt. The reason why the Christians in this day are at such a loss as to some things is that they are contented with what comes from man's mouth, without searching and kneeling before God to know of Him the truth of things. John Bunyan. The heart that has really tasted the grace of Christ, will instinctively hate sin. J.C. Ryle. A Christian is not somebody who stays away from all the wicked things he loves and clings to all the righteous things he hates so that he can go to heaven. The fear of the Christian is not going to hell. The fear of the Christian is being separated from Christ. Paul Washer. To say Lord, Lord and then to disobey is the moral equivalent of a Judas kiss. John MacArthur. Relying on God has to be done all over again every day as if nothing had yet been done. C.S. Lewis. Being a Christian is more than just an instantaneous conversion, it is a daily process whereby you grow to be more and more like Christ. Charles Spurgeon.